Hello, we are going to go ahead and just jump right in. We are talking about bunnies today. It's nice because it is the spring season, so it's good to talk about bunnies. You might be seeing a lot of baby bunnies coming out. If you celebrate, we've got Easter coming up, so it is a good bunny season. Rabbits, bunnies. These are just basics. So if you are interested, definitely you can check out some books from the library. You can do your own research, and it's pretty cool. So bunny rabbits. Bunny rabbits are herbivorous. They eat grass, herbs, leaves, seeds. Out in the wild, if they are domestic, they might eat more hays, fresh veggies, or pellets. Lifespan, they in the wild can be 3 to 4 years in age. In a domestic setting, they can live up to 10 years. They are prey for foxes, wolves, predator birds, other predators also. These were just the primary ones listed. They can also be subject to roadkill, unfortunately. But they are a part of the food chain, so they are, and as omnivores and small creatures, they are not at the top of the food chain, but they are fast, so they can be evasive to escape those predators. They do warn others about predators by thumping their hind foot on the ground. This is something that you can see sometimes in popular culture. It can be depicted. I think there was a famous character known as Thumper. The bunny rabbit. And so this is a pretty cool thing that you might see happen, a way of bunny communication and safety. For gender, the males are called bucks, the females are does, and babies are kits. Babies, they do have a lot of babies. They are known specifically for this trait. Um, they are often cited for, individuals who are having babies. You're like, oh, like bunnies. So, so, so they do have a lot of babies. Their gestation period is 30 days. So that means it just takes 30 days for a baby to grow inside of them versus humans, which are 9 months. So 30 days, that's 1 month. That's actually very, very fast, which is why they can have so many babies. They can have between 4 and 12 kits at any one time, and this is called a litter. So that's lots and lots of babies. When they live in groups, they can be known as colonies, herds, or nests of bunnies. They live in warrens or burrows, and you might not see them in this type of setting per se, as in suburban areas, in our residential zones. But they kind of make up their own housing. I know we have a front bush that we've got a bunny that likes to hang out in that bush, which so it could be like a warren or a burrow. They also like to crawl underneath our shed, which would be a burrow. So they kind of find their own space and they make it home here in the domestic areas. Um, I will say in domestic areas, you might see some pretty plump bunnies. If you go out into the woods, they can be very, very thin and very, very fast. Of course, out in the wild, they need to be very, very fast because there are more predators out in the wild too. So I was astonished seeing these bunnies out in these grasslands because they were fast and they were lean, mean, running machines. So it's a huge difference than the fluffy bunnies that you see in the backyard. or you can raise domestically. You have different species of like show bunnies that have more floof or um, droopy ears. You know, there are all sorts of different species of bunnies. They can be pests, though. Bunnies can nibble gardens and crops. So in order to kind of make sure that that doesn't become a problem, the bunnies can be gassed, or they can also be hunted for population management. They were previously considered rodents, but they are now considered lagomorphs. I did see this online, and you'll see all sorts of different scientific specifications, categorizations. And so this is new to me. I don't know how if it is long-standing per se, but I did think it was interesting because they specify the difference primarily in the teeth area, I believe, looking at them that differentiated them from rodents specifically, such as, you know, rats or mice. So I thought that was interesting because I actually had never thought of bunnies as rodents. I thought of them as small mammals and so, but I suppose, you know, they are also pests too for those with gardens. So that's also something to take into consideration. They can serve as a sort of livestock. They can be raised for meat and for fur. You don't eat a lot of bunny meat in the United States per se. It's not something that's a mainstream meat source, but it can be done also in different parts of the country as well, of the world rather. Um, their manure is also something that is a commodity, as well as their milk. I've not heard so much about bunny milk, but I do know I had a friend who would stockpile the manure and use it out at their family farm. So it is a source of nitrogen for the crops and is meant to help them grow. So it's kind of cool to see how that works in our systems. They do have very large ears, which help in thermal regulation. They also, of course, help hearing predators and things. Um, so presumably that's, you know, why they evolved to have such large ears because they are smaller mammals. Um, and so they need that speed in order to, because they can't fly and they don't climb trees. So something to protect them from predators. But the ears do help with thermal regulation. I did see online that, and of course I didn't read for. I just kind of glanced over this section, um, but the veins in the ears kind of play into this. And this, I actually did also watch a clip with a bunny who was swimming, and I don't know what specific kind of bunny it was. It could have been a hare, and a hare is separate from a bunny, but they are related at some level, of course, you know, in the scientific schema, but they I watched a video of one swimming and I you know, can they swim, can they not swim? It said that and I believe this is true for cats, and I believe that this also comes into play for bunnies. They can get very cold if they get wet, so you won't see them swimming as often per se, because of they need that thermal regulation. They are small mammals, and they might not be able to manage their own temperature as easily, especially when wet, because the wet naturally makes them colder. So that could actually be dangerous and cause health problems with a lot of water. So that's something to bear in mind. But more research, I don't have any firsthand research on that. So that's something that I would need to look more into. I might recommend that for others as well, but just something that's kind of interesting about the ears. Symbolism. Bunnies are a symbol of fertility, sexuality, and spring. They are also depicted as the trickster in some storylines. They are also considered to be good luck. The rabbit's foot is meant to be an amulet for protection per popular culture. You don't see it as much nowadays, but when I was growing up, that this might date me a little bit, this might age me a little bit, but they did sell rabbit's feet as like a commodity in shops, like mood rings and, wish bracelets. Um, they would sell rabbit's feet. And of course, I don't know in my time that they're real rabbit's feet. They may have just been false, fake rabbit feet, where I'm sure the origins did have them as being real, but I don't know that they were in my time. Um, they were often dyed different colors and they were put on keychains. And so you would have a lucky rabbit's foot keychain that you could carry around. And it was meant to be an amulet for protection, for good luck, is what I remember learning about it. So just something kind of obscure that I don't know if it would happen in the modern era that you would carry around an animal foot, but yeah, there you go. So, um, this is resources. I just went to Google and AI kind of popped up, auto-populated a bunch of information from a bunch of different websites, also Wikipedia. Are there any questions?